Get everybody's attention if I started to sing. That would be so terrible. Hi. So, for those of you watching online, you're really missing some lovely, lovely hugs. This is a hugging community, man. That's right. All right. So, Fancy Ray's in the house, Dee's in the house. We got Eileen's in the house. And for those of you online, hello. Thank you, professional. Okay, I'm going to start and everybody else will catch up. So, I am Reverend Debbie. I am so thrilled to be presiding today, and I want to welcome you all to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Minneapolis. Our statement for truth is there is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. And I'd like to add to that. You can also allow it, God, to use you. So, it's a two-way street. And the mission of this center is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire that positive spiritual approach to living that allows, and that includes all these wonderful spiritual tools. And that all start on the inside. So now is a good time to make sure cell phones are off and sit back and get ready because we've got some wonderful music by Claire coming up. Here she is.
Everybody's revved up. It was like, wow. She's up there saying, well, they'll tune in sooner or later. We're all going to sing together, and we have words up here. So here we go. It's a good day. Yes, it's a good day for singing a song. It's a good day for moving along. It's a good day. How could anything go wrong? It's a good day for singing a song. And it's a good day for shining your light. It's a good day for making it right. Everything to gain, it's all inside. It's a good day for shining your light. I said to the sun, good morning, sun. Rise and shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a show. And you've got the right of way. And it's a good day for making things right. It's a good day from morning till night. Take a deep breath, step into the light. It's a good day for making it right. It's a good day from morning till night. It's a good day for shining your light. It's a good day.
And it is a good day. Amen. Yeah. So let us do a group reading together to just sort of recognize our greatness, shall we? All right. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and the presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. And I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. And so it is, right? Woo. All right, let's take a couple of wonderful breaths together as we just sort of breathe in all the love and all the joy and all the peace. Because in this moment, I want to remind each and every one of us that there's only one, that very thing itself, and it is that. It is that which unites us. It is that allows us to all know we're connected. It is that which is thoroughly enjoying our individualized expressions of it, of its creation. And it's from that place that I can just breathe in and know that there is a healing peace in my consciousness, in our collective consciousness. And as we put more of that good healing peace into it, we move the world towards it. I just give thanks for my level of beingness, knowing that it is onward and upward, and so it is. All right. One thing I tell folks when they preside is to make sure you have someone selected to light candles. And today, I haven't done that. So Jenny. It's always Jenny. Jenny's my backup plan for almost everything. All right, so here we go. We're lighting the flames of faith in recognition that there is only one and that we are all united. There are many different names for the one, many paths, many rituals, but it all comes back to the one. And so we want to acknowledge some of the main traditionalists in this. So we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now I invite each of us to take a moment and just recognize that flame within, that light that just allows our heart and our lives to thrive in mental healing and universal spiritual practices. Thank you, Jenny.
Absolutely.
There we go. Okay. And now that that is done, I would like to invite Joan up for our inspirational reading.
When I was presider and forgot the candle lighter, I looked up and went, Jenny. So it's that's what made me laugh so much. Our inspirational reading today is taken from a collected essays of Robert Bitzer that I received from Joanne. And it's entitled, Keep Faith with Yourself. Believe in your ability and recognize your developed talents. There is a right place for your ability to express and for your talents to be appreciated. Keep faith with yourself, because until you keep faith with yourself, you cannot keep faith with people, and people will not keep faith with you. Oh, wow. Heard myself there, didn't I? It is easy to recognize the individual who has faith in themselves. This person is not overconfident or arrogant, and not humble either. This person, there is a sense of assurance, a positiveness that is not overbearing, a demeanor that inspires you. You recognize that such a person knows themselves, knows what's going on, and knows how to attain goals. Build up your faith in yourself, believing in your true ability, believing in your capacity to grow, believing you have a mission. You have something to do. You have something worthwhile to accomplish. You are just as necessary to the infinite as the infinite is necessary to you. You are just as necessary to the infinite as the infinite is necessary to you. But you must know all of this and keep faith with these ideas. When you know there is a purpose in what you do, you can never feel let down. No matter how many people may doubt you, don't doubt yourself. No matter how many people may seem discouraged or try to discourage you, you don't break faith with yourself. Infinite mind reveals to you the rightness of your place. And at the center of your being, this infinite mind whispers your name. You are its image and likeness. You are its infinite expression. Infinite mind reveals to you that which you are. Keep faith with yourself, and the world will keep faith with you.
All right. Hallelujah on that one, huh? I so sometimes wish I could do Southern Baptist. I really do. Amen. There you go. Thank you. All right. Claire, we're ready.
Sometimes when you can't find the song you're looking for, you write one instead. This is called The Power of Amazing Grace. In the silence of a sunrise, the ending of each day, in the rain that's fallen gently on your window pane, such a miracle and wonder in each and every place. When we stop to feel the power, peace, and grace. It's a mystery unfolding before your very eyes. The wonder leaves us breathless, no matter how we try to explain it using words, well, the words just can't replace. When we stop to feel the power, peace, and grace, the grace in every moment, the peace within your heart, the power in the knowing that it lives in every part of the never-ending circle of love here in this place. The power of amazing grace. It's the beginning and the middle, and it never has an end. This overwhelming presence that's hard to comprehend. But if we stop and take a breath, we can feel it in this place. The power of amazing grace. The grace in every moment, the peace within your heart, the power in the knowing that it lives in every part of this never-ending circle of love grace. The power of amazing grace. The power of amazing grace. Amazing grace.
Oh, Claire, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And now, speaking of beautiful, here she comes, Reverend Joanne. Woo-hoo!
Claire, to that I say, Karen Drucker, eat your heart out. That was very nice, very nice. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Debbie, thank you for the reading. Yeah, I picked that reading, but I didn't do it like that. That was great.
I've been a minister speaker and listening to
There you go, there you go. I had to look up when you sat down to see if you said that right, and you did. Something about not arrogant, but not humble. I didn't think there was anything wrong with being humble, is there? I don't know. Well, let's rewrite that, but that's other than that. Very good. So this month, we're talking about the ultimate power tools, and last week, Reverend Debbie talked about enthusiasm and how that's one of the tools that we can use. Emma Curtis Hopkins was a teacher of Ernest Holmes, and she knew a thing about power tools too. And she said, we have unlimited power. If we do not use that power, it doesn't alter the fact that it is our inheritance. You know, I remember reading that Ernest Holmes says, you know, we live in a sea of this power, or a sea of possibilities, whatever he called it. How much of that is available to you? As much as you can use. It's ours for the taking. We talked about that a little bit like that in our Circle in Prison on Tuesday night, about living in a sea of possibility, and how, you know, we got all kinds of possibilities we can take advantage of. So we talked about enthusiasm last week, and this week the title is The Power of Faith Rightly Placed. Now, our faith is either the source of our power or it's the cause of our distress. And depending on what you have faith in, so faith rightly placed. Holmes says that it's been said there's one big fear, the fear that God will not answer our prayers. And so we fear things. We fear lack, and we fear loss of friends, loss of properties, loss of money. We fear that we'll lose our way, fear our kids will be in trouble, all kinds of fears. So what is this fear? Fear is nothing more or less than the negative use of faith, faith misplaced. We've always got faith, but where are we going to put that faith? What are we going to put our faith in? Holmes says to correct all the evils of the world would be but to have faith rightly placed, a faith that lays hold of the beneficence of God, the unity of all life, and the integrity of the universe, the beneficence of God. You know, a lot of us weren't raised in that kind of assurance. You know, I was raised knowing that God was looking over me and making sure that I didn't do those bad things. So, you know, Dee was reminding me this morning of one of her sisters who had nightmares about hell. Till she met was it a Methodist or a Presbyterian who said, our God is a loving God in our church. So she switched church. So, to correct all evils of the world, Holmes says, would be but to have faith rightly placed, a faith that lays hold of the beneficence of God, the unity of life, the integrity of the universe. So we've all got plenty of faith, but what is that faith in? We can have faith in lack, we can have faith in limitation, faith in sickness, faith in failure, faith. Where do you put your faith? So that's misplaced faith. So where is well-placed faith? Well, of course, it's in God. And there's a story about a young Jewish girl, and she's bringing her fiance home to meet her parents. And the mother says to the dad, now after dinner, you take this guy into the study and you have a little schnapps with him and see what he's all about, check him out. So he goes into the study, this kid, and he says, so son, what are your plans? And the kid says, I'm a Torah scholar. And the guy said, well, that's admirable that you're a Torah scholar, but how are you going to buy a nice engagement ring for my daughter, a ring that she deserves? And the guy says, well, I'll study, and God will provide. Okay? And then he says, how are you going to give her a nice house like she's accustomed to living in? I'll concentrate on my studies, and God will provide. And children, how will you support your children? Don't worry, sir, I'll study, and God will provide. And conversation goes on and on like this. God will provide. And so a little bit later, the mom and dad are talking, and the mother says, well, how did it go? And the guy says, well, I got bad news and I got good news. The bad news is he has no job and no plans. The good news is he thinks I'm God. So somewhere in here is faith misplaced. So I never liked, and ministers like to talk about faith. That's a favorite subject. I've never liked that. I've never liked that word, faith, because where I came from, faith meant shut up. Don't ask questions. Don't be curious. Really, you got a real shut down if you started being curious about what you were being taught. I didn't like that. Now, in Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes tells us be open at the top. He said everything's going to change. You're going to evolve. I mean, what a refreshing, for me, what a refreshing way to look at our spiritual ideas. So today we're going to look at this is a different way to look at faith. So we're going to have 3 points. Faith in the idea that the universe is conspiring for our good. How nice is that? Oh, I love that idea. Just love that idea. Number 2, faith in the workings of the law. Well, look at here. We got this is the teaching symbol for Science of Mind. And the law is this middle part. You can call that top part. That's where we set our intentions. That's our conscious mind. We can call that the master. We're the ones that are in charge of what goes on. The middle part we could call the law, subconscious mind, or we could call it the soil, because you take that seed thought that we have in the top part, plant it in that middle part, the law, which is the soil, and voila, you get the effect. This is the outpicturing in your life. So that we can have faith in. That works. And I think Ernest Holmes has said that's all we're selling. Yeah, that's it. You get this, you can go home. This is how it works. It works in your life. If you practice it, it's amazing. So in the number 3 is faith in ourselves, and that's the reading that Joan did this morning. There is a perfect power within each of us, and we can have faith in that. Not faith in our little self, but faith, like when I come to talk to you on a morning like this, I like to say, little self, just take the back seat right now. That ego part of me, it's helpful. It kind of keeps you out of the way of the Mack trucks and, takes care of you. But for now, take a back seat and let that God self, let that perfect power within take over. And I think so these are the points. So the first point is faith in the idea that the universe is conspiring for our good. Ernest Holmes said, there's a power for good in the universe, and it's greater than you, and you can consciously use it. And Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was one of his teachers, said, how sure people are to come out right who have a strong, honest confidence that they will come out right. You know, if you believe you're going to come out right, you're going to come out right. Keep your thoughts positive and constructive. There was a minister in our circles named Johnny Coleman. She founded a church in Chicago that Fancy Ray, I don't know, did you visit it too, Tani? In Chicago, it's called, is it still called Christ Universal Temple? Anyway, she founded that, and she was a minister, I think, for 40 years. She died at age 94 in 2014. And for 40 years, she taught God's desire for everyone is absolute good. Well, that's a message I didn't get until I got into this movement. And God's idea for us is absolute good. The way she started out, she had do you know what her incurable disease was, Debbie? Everywhere I read, it said that this Johnny Coleman began her healing journey. She was diagnosed with an incurable disease, and I could never put my finger on what that disease was. I don't know why they didn't say it, but it was in the early 1950s. And she decided to change her prognosis from having 6 months to live to living a long life. In her mind, that's what she did. And she turned away from the condition, and she turned toward the idea that God's desire for her was absolute good, which included a long, healthy life. And she indeed lived that life and used that miracle of healing to really, I think, uplift her and help her to share this with other people. She wrote, God knows nothing of arthritis, diabetes, cancer, tuberculosis, AIDS. Resolve this moment to pray for elimination of these illusions from the minds of all men and women, thus eliminating them from the bodies of humankind. It sounds like Emma Curtis Hopkins, doesn't it? I mean, just like, here's the deal, guys. She's so sure of herself. There's a story about this eccentric professor, speaking of illusions. And he had been teaching this class, all kinds of topics, and the exam was going to be a one-question exam. And he takes his chair and he puts it up on his desk, and he writes on the board, using everything we have learned this semester, prove that this chair does not exist. Don't you love tests like that? So they're sitting, all these kids are sitting with their paper and pencils, and they're just remembering, oh, what did we learn? And they're writing down all this stuff and erasing it and starting over and writing, and some of them are writing like pages and pages. They got an hour to do this, but one member just took about a minute, wrote something down and left. And so weeks later, when the grades were posted, they noticed that this is the kid that got an A. They said, how could he get an A? He hardly wrote anything. His answer, remember what the question was, using everything we've learned this semester, prove this chair does not exist. And his answer was, what chair? So Johnny Coleman would say, what arthritis, what diabetes, what cancer, what heart disease? You know, everything in spiritual truth, these things do not exist. There's some perfection within each and every one of us. That's spiritual truth. Years ago, when D. Ray and I were first putting our toes in this philosophy, I made a tape, a cassette tape. This was when they had these cassette tapes that you could push play, stop, rewind, like that. It was very simple. And so I recorded some really, what I thought was very inspirational stuff from Science of Mind, some poems, I don't know what else I put on there, but I listened to the tape and I must have shared it with Dee, and she asked me to give her a copy of that tape, which I did. And she played hers until it fell apart, and I did too. And so we don't know how to replace it. So that's, that's our burden to bear. So one of the things I wrote on there that I remember, because I listened to it so often, is a quote from Ernest Holmes from his book, Science of Mind. He says, "When we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. We must learn to come under the divine government and accept the fact that nature's table is always filled. Never was there a cosmic famine. God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always something hidden in the inner being that was never violated." Isn't that just powerful? Something in our inner being that was never violated. We may stumble, but always there is that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. Ernest says, this is the thing itself. So remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I think that's kind of what he was talking about. There's something in us that is perfect, whole, and complete. So faith rightly placed is knowing that spiritual substance is all around us waiting to be formed. You know, I should have a thing made of my iron refinery. You know, I tell you this story, I know you get tired of it, but there's people here who've never heard it. So wouldn't it be nice if we had a slide with the iron refinery, iron foundry, you've got a vat. In the vat, you put the solid pig iron, you build a fire under that vat, you melt that pig iron until it's liquid. Then in this foundry, they're trying to make something. So they've got molds. Okay, let's say they want to make a gear of some sort. They take that liquid then and pour it in the mold, okay? Now, if we kind of do this metaphysically about our lives, all we have to do is make the mold. We don't have to make the vat. We don't have to make the pig iron. We don't have to make the fire. We have to make the mold. And what does that mean? That means, what are my intentions? What is it that I want in my life? They wanted a gear in the iron foundry. What if I want a healed relationship? What if I want a healed part of my body? What if I want financial abundance? Whatever it is. If we could use this, how much greater our lives. And the more we use it, and the more we see the outcome of using this philosophy of making that mold, setting our intention, the more easily it's going to be to do next time. Next time you come up against a challenge that you think, oh my gosh, this is the biggest thing, I don't know how I'm ever going to do it. Think back about the last time you created an intention in that mold and how it came to fruition because you turned it over to your higher power. And the more we do it, the easier it is to live a life free of concerns. Coleman says, God knows nothing of arthritis, diabetes, cancer. These are all illusions. And we know that we can use these molds to change whatever is going on in our life. The universe is conspiring for our good. So my suggestion is make that mold. Use that mold. Put something in that mold. So faith that the universe is conspiring for our good. That was my first point. The second point is faith in the workings of the law. And this is where this comes into play, because this is how that works, the workings of the law. Our thought seeds, the top part, goes into that middle part, which is the law, or we might call those thoughts seeds going into the soil, and then the form or effect. That's how that works. The law is absolute, and we should trust its impersonal action, implicity, impersonal. That kind of bothered me when I first heard this language. Why is God impersonal? Well, it's like the soil is impersonal. The farmer plants a corn seed and he's not going to get a watermelon. If he plants peas, he's not going to get radishes. When we plant seeds of hatred or revenge or something, guess what? We're not going to get roses. We're going to get a life that depicts those negative feelings we have. So the idea is to keep our thoughts positive and constructive. Think about what you want. Intentionally plant those thought seeds. And most people obviously don't do that. You've been there, right? We've all been there. Our thoughts just go all over the place. It's like a farmer with his seeds. If he takes those seeds and he's just strewing them all, he doesn't care if they land in the water or on a rock. He's not thinking about that fertile soil where he needs to plant those seeds. And this is what we have to think about too. Keep your thoughts positive and constructive. So when was the last time that you really did this, that you said, okay, I'm going to sit down right now, I'm going to state that intention. I'm going to get that mold. I'm going to put something. What do I want to put in that mold? Could be a healed relationship, could be a relationship with your boss or somebody in your family. The more we turn to Source for daily assistance, for guidance, the more we tune into this universal good, and the better our lives are going to be. Just have to remember to do it. We are surrounded by a law which is creative. It responds to our thought. It doesn't reason. Remember, this middle part doesn't say, oh, no radishes, we really need sunflowers. Whatever we put in there, it responds to our thought. It doesn't reason. It responds only to our thought. So important. Keep a lid. And we have control over our thoughts. And some people will say, oh, no, I don't. Well, you do. I remember Gary used to say, isn't it funny how these guys that beat up on their wives, well, I couldn't help it, I just lost it, I just snapped. Well, they don't snap in the bar when they're up against some 6-foot guy. They don't snap then. They snap at home with their 5-foot wife. We have control over our thoughts. We really do. And so that's faith in the workings of the law. Okay, number 2. Number 3 is faith in ourselves, what Joan read about. We are extensions of the Creator of everything. We talk about that. There is a power within us, that power that created everything. And Holmes has a beautiful verse in there about the same power that created all the moonbeams, whatever, is the power within each of us. We have that power within us, and we can use that power. You are an individualized extension of God itself. You have access to all the energy. Like Holmes says, how much energy, how much of that can you take? All of it. Whatever you can manage to accept is yours. There's no limit to it. Meister Eckhart, who's a German mystic in the late 1200s, said, there is nothing else a man can do that is so beautiful as to put complete trust in God. God never failed anyone who trusted him greatly, but rather through him, God does great things. That was Meister Eckhart many, many years ago. So this faith in that higher power, that it is within us, can change a lot of stuff. So just a little recap. Universe is conspiring for your good. You might recall that a lot of times when I end a spiritual mind treatment, I release this to that beneficent conspiracy. Beneficent, kind, wants to do good. Conspiracy, I love that. Sometimes I have to go so far as to think, What if it's my parents? What if it's Steve? What if it's Gary? What if they're hearing my prayer and they know that I've got a need and I'm hurting for some reason? I don't know how it works, but the point is I can let go of it because I'm thinking of there's a conspiracy going on and something in the unknown is working on my behalf. Beneficial conspiracy. And then the absolute workings of the law, plant that seed, make that mold, and then you are an expression of the divine. Have faith in yourself. Through each of us, God can provide great things. So a little homework might be to think about, make that mold for yourself. Set an intention. And that puts me in mind of one of my favorite Bible verses, and that's Malachi 3:10, where it says, "Test me and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out such a blessing for you, you don't have room to store it all." Paraphrasing a little. I mean, isn't that lovely? You know, think about that for homework. What's going on in your life? Where would you like to test God? Tells us to do that. I do it, and I have not yet been struck down by lightning. And there are times when I have really felt that at the end of this, that God is having a chuckle. God, however that looks, whatever's going on up there. There is something going on behalf, and I think sometimes that spirit is getting a chuckle. I see it as my prayers are answered, like, this is so easy. Why don't you do this more often? You know, why don't you bring these challenges in prayer more often? So that I would suggest, think about what in your life can you claim today? And then there's a poem I'd like to share with you that'll just remind you of how this works. Doubt sees the obstacles. Faith sees the way. Doubt sees the darkest night. Faith sees the day. Doubt dreads to take a step. Faith soars on high. Doubt questions who believes. Faith answers, I. So if you would just take a deep breath and join me as I do a spiritual mind treatment, which is an affirmative prayer regarding these words that we've heard, the music, and all the good stuff. So I know there is that one power in the universe that has the perfect solution to any perceived problem in life. And I know that power is peace and love and joy. It's balance. It's abundance, order. It's all good. And I am one with it. That very power that created everything experiences life in, through, and as its creation. And even though I have sometimes forgotten that the universe, God, is conspiring for my good, I feel like I'm up against it, even though I've felt that at times. And sometimes I've not relied on the law to carry out my seed thoughts. I got doubts. And even though I sometimes have forgotten that I'm an extension of the power that created everything and everyone, even though all that, I now set an intention to remember that the universe conspires for my good. I trust the law works as my servant. I'm the master, my words are the master, the law is the servant. And I remember I'm an extension of the power that created everything and everyone. And in gratitude that this is the law of life, I release these words to the beneficent conspiracy for perfect manifestation. So it is.
So it is.
Here's a Sue Riley tune. I have to eat my cough drop too. It's called Blessed Be. Gonna set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. Oh, set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. Life unfolds with grace and ease, endless possibilities. They're everywhere, they've always been, when we choose to let them in. Gonna set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. And I've outgrown those smaller dreams, the way they used to limit me. I make the space, invite love in. Magic fills the air again. Gonna set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. Something bigger calling me to follow where my passion leads. I trust the flow, don't need to know. I dance into the great unknown. Gonna set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. Gonna set it free, let things be. Let the thrill of life carry me. 'Cause I know I'm in the flow, I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. Finally free. Oh, blessed be. I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be. I'm finally free. Oh, blessed be.
All right. Everybody feeling kind of spiritually fed at this moment, huh? I mean, come on. This is our time for conscious giving. And the thing about conscious giving is that it comes from that place of knowing that we are free, right? That our source is spirit. And it is demonstrating in so many incredible ways. So in this moment, I just say thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity not only to give, but the opportunity to receive all of that love back into us. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I want to say thank you to all of you for your generous gifts and all of the wonderful ways that everybody is of service. We have a gift for you, and that is the gift of spiritual mind treatment. And so if there is something you are working on and you would like prayer support, after fellowship today, the practitioners of this center are going to gather. So I'm going to ask them to stand, just speak with one of them, and we will bring you into prayer at the end of our meeting today. Or you can ask them to pray right here and now. And if you have not had the opportunity, there's nothing better and more freeing than knowing that someone's got your back, right? And that's what spiritual mind treatment and being a licensed practitioner is all about. It's about having people's backs. Okay, so for announcements, we've got a few. Next Sunday is Pumpkin Day around here. So if there is something so if you would like to participate in Pumpkin Day, in addition to coming and eating pumpkin, if you want to bring something, please see me, and then the center will fill in the blanks. But it's about having dessert, you guys, because sometimes after Thanksgiving dinner, I don't really feel like dessert, right? So we're going to start. We're going to start with dessert first next Sunday. So come, bring a friend or two so we can have dessert all together. It'll be very, very fun. So that's one announcement.
And there's little flyers about that on the back.
Yeah, there's little flyers. And then I want to also remind everyone that Celeste is doing a book study on Thursdays. And all of the information is on the website. And she's using the book, the ideas of, what is it? Basic ideas of science of mind. And it's really kind of the whole textbook, minus the meditations and the prayers, all kind of condensed. It's the circle. She's going to do the teaching circle. So, and it's a drop-in, so don't feel bad if you've missed a couple of weeks. It's always a drop-in. The other thing I'm just going to start announcing now, because a week from this Thursday is Thanksgiving, you guys. I know. What, after all? This building is going to be closed on Christmas Eve Day and New Year's Eve Day. So we're floating the idea of doing sort of a brunch at Jeff and I's house, along with a burning bowl and white stone on New Year's Eve Day. So if that's of interest to you, please see either myself or Jeff. I hate hosting a party and nobody's showing up. So there's that. And then Julie asked if she could have a moment.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I just wanted to say I've been doing the abundance class, and it's been amazing. Just really so many things. So just to go over a couple of things that I've gotten just in my life the last few months doing this class has been I've found a wonderful relative that got a hold of me on Facebook that I never knew existed. I mean, amazing going back like 3 generations. We still have to get connected, but we're connected. So excited about that. Another thing is I made big changes, Pete and I did, and where we were living, and the new place has just come together so beautifully, and so grateful and blessed every time we walk out down the road, and I don't know. I just love it. And also, Pete and I and a friend of ours went to Veterans Dinner at a wonderful restaurant yesterday. And I mean, it was just, I was so touched at their kindness. I couldn't believe it. I'm just still so touched at what a wonderful meal it was. And then one of the last biggest things is I went out lunch with a friend of mine, Annette, on Friday, and we had a wonderful day together. So I have friends here, I mean, just please. Couldn't be better. So if you ever have a chance to do this class, you should. It's a good idea.
And add a bonus, Sue and I are having a great time doing it. Yeah, so we're going to have to find something else to hang our hats on. And then Joan has an update for us.
It's not really an update, it's about an upcoming class. So Colleen and I will be co-teaching a foundations class starting in January, the second week of January. And if you've never taken foundations class, you've all heard the word spiritual mind treatment thrown about all over this whole day. What that class is about, it's about learning that process. It's about learning what it's about. I realized I took my first foundations class 16 years ago, and I'm in ministerial school now. I never would have thought that first baby class led me to where I am now. Colleen's taken it twice. So if you've taken the class, don't think you're done. You can come take it again. We'll be creating a missive that you can share on Facebook, because I would like to invite people that aren't even part of our center, maybe a friend of yours. It's going to be on Zoom. I'm currently in ministerial school, and I just finished a class on workshops and teaching, so I'm ready. I'm ready for a good class. So January.
All right. And with that, I want to thank all of you for being here. We're going to do a quick prayer out. We're going to do a blessing. We're going to do a song. And then we've got cookies and coffee and like some really incredibly fun people to hang out with. That's kind of like the schedule for the next half hour. Got it? Okay. But before I do that, I would like to invite all other practitioners to please stand so that we can acknowledge your work and your service. We just have really incredible people, don't we?
Where does the meeting take place?
The practitioner meeting, it takes place in the meditation room after fellowship. Yeah. All right. And with that, let us just take one more of those wonderful breaths. Just breathe in this energy, this love, this. In this moment, I just give thanks. I give thanks for the knowing that it is all good and it is all God. I give thanks for this community, this gathering, be it in person or online. The connection of oneness is alive and well. Thank you, and thank you. So it is.
I will leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
Yay, we have words. Since Reverend Joanne was talking about the mold, what kind of mold are we going to make? Because we're the thinkers. Here we go. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light, so much more than meets the eye. I'm keeping this in mind. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And if you ask me what am I am stillness, I am joy, so much more than meets the eye. I'm keeping this in mind. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought I have the power to change my life. And I can choose to be the light and brighten up the darkest night, so much more than meets the eye. I'm keeping this in mind. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought have the power to change my life. We have the power to change our life. I love the dance line in the back.